Welcome back to the podcast. It is Thursday night, which means Thursday night football. We've got Colts and Broncos, which is going to be a lot of passing because Javonte Williams is out for the season with an ACL tear, and Jonathan Taylor is out as well with, an ankle, I believe. I think that's what it is. And before you say anything, I don't want to hear it about this being a every other week podcast. Before last week, maybe. Yes. But last week was not my fault. I texted you during school hours. I said, it was a Wednesday. I said, podcast tonight. We're doing this, and this. Be ready. And you said, okay. I started feeling sick. I come home. I lose my voice completely. Can't record a podcast. If I had my voice, I would have powered through it. I don't want to hear anything.
Are you done rambling?
Yes.
This long-winded justification for why we've become an every other week podcast.
No.
Are you done?
Last week was not my fault. It's not my fault.
People don't care. People don't want excuses.
You've got to get.
They want a podcast. They want hard-hitting sports analysis. They want entertainment.
You want hard-hitting sports analysis,
and they don't get it. They don't get it because you're sick, or you're playing video games, or you just forget. They don't want to hear it.
Do you want to hear sports analysis? The NFL sucks. Why? Because my quarterback, Tua, got a concussion and he pretty much died. Not he didn't actually die, but he got, carted off the field in the Bengals game.
That starts the week before in the Bills game when he clearly had a concussion. He couldn't stand up, and they claimed it was a back injury, and he came back into the game. Whatever bozo doctor, who by the way has been fired now, allowed him to come back into that game, that's complete malpractice. Everyone knew he had a concussion. How they let him come back and play and finish that game is beyond me. And then he shouldn't have played the Cincinnati game, and we saw what happened. He still had lingering effects from the Bills game, and it just got significantly worse. I was scared for him during when he took that hit in the Bills game and couldn't get up. That was, I've never seen anything like that. I would not be surprised if we don't see him play for a while.
I mean, right now the prediction is about 2 weeks, and that is way too early, especially with something like that, where nothing like that has ever happened or usually happens with a concussion. I mean, he had to leave the stadium. He had to go to the hospital. So, 2 weeks is way too short. The NFL needs to fix their concussion protocol, because even if he didn't have a concussion in the Bills game, the NFL still has to test him for a concussion before the Bengals game.
They'll be fine this week. They play the Jets. You might see him the following week against the Vikings. I doubt it. They'll be fine with old Teddy Bridgewater in there.
So the Dolphins did lose that game, meaning that the Eagles are the only 4-0 team left in the league. And I hate that, because for some reason everyone thinks the Eagles are the best team in the league, and they aren't.
They're playing well.
They're playing well, but they are not the best team in the league. They haven't played that big of competition yet. Their biggest competition was the Vikings. And, they blew out the Vikings, but
they might lose this week to the Cardinals, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Let's see who else is playing well.
The Chiefs looking really good after that Tampa Bay game.
The Chiefs look good.
The Ravens blew that big, they've blown 2 leads this season.
Yeah, they blew a 3-score lead to the Dolphins a couple weeks ago. and then they blew a big lead to the Bills because John Harbaugh decides he wants to go for it on fourth down at the what 2 yard line instead of kicking the go ahead field goal with I don't know 3-4 minutes left. Don't understand that decision. Um, my San Diego Chargers are playing well, even with a banged up quarterback. Green Bay Packers are playing well, even with no wide receivers. I think my Super Bowl picks are looking pretty good right now.
The Saints lost off of a double doink kick to take it into overtime. That sucks. I mean,
Let me tell you who's not playing well. The Bears. And Justin Fields. And I think we talked about this all offseason. Justin Fields has no prayer this year. He has no line, he has no weapons, and that is coming to fruition. Uh, and now everyone's starting to blame Justin Fields because he's not an NFL quarterback and he should be progressing more. The dude has no chance. I mean, they're letting him throw like 15 passes a game, which is obscene in the NFL. I think he has in 4 games less than 400 yards passing, or right around 400 yards passing, which is gross. It's like 100 yards a game. But he has no weapons, no line. They're not calling plays for him. He's running for his life back there. I feel bad for the guy, and he's going to take a lot of the blame this year, and it's not fair.
so on the note of the Bears, I was watching that Giants and Bears game, and
Why? Why?
why? Because it was a close game, only really thing on. That wasn't a blowout. And I was just kind of watching it, and I saw so many times Justin Fields gets sacked for -9 yards. Justin Fields gets sacked for -6 yards. He has no help at all. And I've seen so many people, like you said, say he's not good enough to be an NFL quarterback. But, we've talked about it so many times. He has nothing. And I hate to see that, but it's just going to happen right now. And I don't know how long it's going to take for the Bears to help him, get him to that NFL level. But until then, it's going to be rough for him.
Speaking of the Giants, 3-1. Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't played anybody.
Mm-mm.
Literally, no. I think they played the Cowboys, but I think Dak was hurt, wasn't he?
They lost that game too. So,
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Was that the only game they lost?
Yeah. So even then, they lost. So they haven't really played people. But I think we can get a good perspective of how good teams actually are around week 8.
Well, I'm curious of the game that's about to start, the Colts and Broncos. I mean, Colts are 1-2-1. Broncos are 2-2. I had high expectations for the Colts. If they lose this game, which they're probably likely to do because it's in Denver, they're in a world of hurt. Like, a world of hurt. I don't know what's going on with the Colts. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
Same with the Broncos too. They did play a very good game against the Raiders, but they did lose that game. I mean, the Broncos have such high expectations. You have a good roster, you have a good defense, you get Russell Wilson in the offseason, and Russell Wilson isn't performing like a franchise quarterback right now.
He's going to put up big numbers tonight. Watch. Are we going to do picks before this game starts?
Yes, before we have any...
Do we have to do 2 weeks of picks?
No. I got it.
This is the third time you said this.
Third time's the charm. Alright, Colts Broncos. I've got Broncos.
Broncos.
I think it's a close game, but Broncos. Giants Packers.
Packers by 1 million.
Lions Patriots. Lions. The Lions have been playing well, even though they lost to the Seahawks.
I'm going to agree with you because
Oh, Mac Jones is out.
Mac Jones is out, which may be good for the Patriots. But yeah, I'm picking the Lions.
Mac Jones and who's their backup? Brian Hoyer, he's out too. So they have Bailey Zappi.
Who I'd never heard of in my entire life until last week.
Apparently, he's a rookie that they took in like the 7th round. So,
Lions.
unless he's the next Tom Brady. Chargers, Browns. I've got Chargers.
Oh, of course, San Diego Chargers.
Los Angeles, but Texans, Jaguars. I've got Jaguars. I do want to say though, the Texans have been playing pretty well. I feel like even though they're losing, they're still being competitive, and I like that.
Fun fact on this game, the Jaguars are favored by 7. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would see the Jaguars favored by 7 in any game at any point in time this year. So it's like bizarro land in the NFL right now. Jaguars.
Falcons, Buccaneers by 72.
I absolutely agree. Buccaneers are going to roll.
Steelers, Bills. The Steelers are playing horrible.
Got a new quarterback now.
Kenny Pickett, who threw 3 picks.
First game.
3 picks in one half.
Ran for 2 touchdowns.
3 picks in one half.
Bills.
Dolphins, Jets. I've got the Dolphins, even though it's Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater didn't look too bad, except he threw a game-losing pick. And it was a bad pick, but I mean, I think, it's the Jets.
Jets.
No. Bears, Vikings. I've got Vikings.
Vikings, we talked about how bad the Bears are.
Titans,
Commanders. Oh, look. Another concussion. Dude can't even stand up. Holy cow.
What is going on here?
Is that N'Keal Hines?
Naheem? Yeah, that's Naheem Hines.
Yep, he's done.
All right, well, Titans, Commanders. I've got the Commanders.
Titans, they're starting to play better.
Seahawks, Saints. I've got the... That's hard. I didn't think about that one. I've got Saints. I think if Jameis
is Jameis back?
That's the question I had. If Jameis is back, Saints. If he's not, Saints. So.
You just said Saints.
Yeah, I know. Because Saints are gonna win.
Yeah, I agree. Saints are gonna win.
49ers, Panthers. 49ers. They've been playing very well.
Yeah, Panthers are bad.
Eagles, Cardinals.
Good old number 6 isn't doing much in Carolina.
Nope.
Eagles, Cardinals. I'm telling you, Cardinals are gonna win.
I think Eagles still go 5-0. I don't like it, but the Cardinals have been playing meh. They did start playing a little bit well against the Panthers, but it's the Panthers, so, Cowboys, Rams. Bengals, Ravens. This is a big game. It's not really big in, NFL season type thing, but it's kind of big to show how good the Ravens are and how good the Bengals are. Ravens. Chiefs, Raiders. I've got Chiefs by 3,000.
Chiefs are going to win.
I love the Chiefs offense right now.
Patrick Mahomes is a magician, man. Absolute.
He's unhuman. He's not real.
I don't know how he does it, man. So, some of those throws last week were incredible. All right, so that's our NFL picks. Before we go, quick touch. Not the Major League Baseball season's over. I would just like to toot my own horn here and say I dominated my preseason picks. Not perfect, but I got 10 of the 12 playoff teams right, which is over 80%, which is phenomenal. Way better than some of these quote-unquote experts. I picked the Yankees to win AL East. Came to fruition. I picked the Rays and Jays to make the playoffs. That happened. I picked the Astros to win the West. Picked the Mariners to make the playoffs. Both of those things happened. Only miss I had was pick the White Sox to win the Central, and they just puked all over themselves with Tony La Russa, who's now been, well, technically he resigned, but he basically got fired. Congrats to the Indians for winning the Central. That was my only miss in the AL. NL, I picked the Phillies to win the East and the Braves to make the playoffs. So I got flipped. The Braves won the East, Phillies made the playoffs. I did not take the Mets. And the Mets are the wild card. I picked the Brewers over the Cardinals, but I picked the Cardinals to go to the playoffs. So I missed on the Brewers. And I picked the Dodgers to win the West and San Diego to make the playoffs. So I got both of those. So in the NL, my only misses were the Brewers and the Mets. So I got 10 out of 12 right. My World Series winners still are going to the series are the Astros Dodgers, with the Dodgers winning it. I still feel good about that.
So what you're telling me is you're better than everyone else.
Your words, not mine. I'm
Okay.
not going to disagree with you, but your words, not mine.
Okay. So ESPN sign my dad. Next year it'll be 12 out of 12. He'll predict every score of every game.
Man, I'd be like a ray of sunshine at ESPN. All these talking heads who don't really know anything and just trying to throw out some hot takes. No, I got the knowledge right here. That's why it's unfortunate we only do a podcast every other week.
Alright. That's gonna be it.
Alright. See you in a couple weeks.
See you next week. Next. Write this down. Next week.